is. Speaking the devil, and everything. It is important.
It just kicked in when you said that.
Listen, he got it.
His employer's hard to work with.
At least you knew where he was supposed to be.
Yeah, I was starting to get worried about him.
Well, thanks everyone. We're going to call the meeting to order, and Ms. Sarah, I'll ask you to call the roll.
Danny Alves. Here. Nancy Barker. Here. John Gibson. Joshua Dillon. Tom Kern.
Here.
Bobby Palmer. Jason Rhodes.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, we have 6 members present, constituting a quorum. Excuse me.
We'll now have the approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Is there a second? Second. All right. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the agenda, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. Motion carries. And now for the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Mr. Barker. Motion been made and seconded by Mr. Kern. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the minutes as presented, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. Motion carries. All right, so I guess we'll move on to resolutions. And I'd like to cheat off yours.
I have one extra copy if you like it.
Oh, do you? Yeah, that'd be great. I'll scramble and try to get
And
this.
I apologize if anybody didn't get their email. This thing was so big, it's where to go from me.
That's okay. Thank you so much.
Number 3 will be your first one.
Oh, 3, okay. All right, establishing an additional deputy clerk position in the Hawkins County Clerk's office.
I make a motion to send it on to the full commission.
Thank you. There's a motion to send this one forward. Is there a second? Second. Thank you, Mr. Kern. It's now open for discussion. Ms. Davis, would you like to remind us where this is going to be funded from?
Sure. We have a reserve account that was established by the governor in, I have to refresh myself.
2022.
Yeah, took effect July 1st, 2022. For every title that we're able to process and print in our office, we get $3. This account has really built up. It is by law, can only be used for titling and registration, and I thought what better use for it than try to get another employee. Since our Churchill location has really taken off with the use of the drive-through up there, I don't know if the population has grown, I don't know, but we have really taken on a lot up there. I've got more than adequate money coming in that I feel like I can pay for the actual salary of that employee if the county would agree to pick up the benefits section. Eric and I have roughly estimated about $5,000 for the benefits section. We don't have any idea once I hire that employee if they're going to need county insurance, if it's going to be a single policy, a family plan. There's no way to estimate that. So I would like to spend my reserve money to fund that salary if the county would be gracious enough to agree to pick up the additional charge.
Any questions?
I have numbers if anybody wants some of that. I told them to. Just since January, for the months of January, February, March, up until April 5th, which was week before last, we've collected $12,012 in those $3 fees. So it's really going to pay for itself.
she already discussed, was, you know, 5,000 for social security, TCRS, workers' comp, those type of things. The wild card is the insurance. The insurance is going to vary significantly from zero if they don't need it, so to as high as 22,000 if they were in a family plan. And of course, you can land anywhere in the middle, whether it's a single employee stop or employee shelter, 25 and 20. So, yeah.
Let the record reflect Mr. Gibson's here, Mr. Gibson, we're working on 2024-04-03 at the time. All right, any other questions about adding a deputy clerk position that will be funded from a reserve account that's been issued to the deputy clerk's office, except for benefits, which will be picked up by the county? Anybody have any questions? Ms. Sarah, will you call the roll?
John Gibson,
Yes.
Joshua Gillum,
No.
Nancy Barker,
Yes.
Danny Elvis,
Yes.
Robbie Palmer,
Yes.
Jason Roach,
Yes.
Tom Kern.
Yes.
6 yes, 1 no, motion carries.
Thank you. Let's move on to 2024-04-04, which is approval of surplus to solid waste roll-off trash and trash truck. And accept an agreement with Jimwood Auction Company to auction said truck proceeds used to purchase 2 new roll-off trucks. Thank you, Mr. Palmer. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson. Any discussion?
This is just a continuation of what we're already doing. It still pays for itself. Getting good trucks for a good price. We get rid of our own trucks, so it's continued to work. We approved it last year, so.
It's a good program. It's working well.
All right, no further discussion? Ms. Sarah, will you call the roll, please?
Joshua Gillum,
Yes.
Jason Roach,
Yes.
Robbie Palmer,
Yes.
Tom Kern.
Yes.
Nancy Barker. Yes. Danny Elvis.
Yes.
And John Gibson.
Yes.
7 yes, motion carries.
2024-04-05, approval to lease Calcera Scalpa multifunction copier at the Hawkins County Mayor's Office for 36 months.
Make a motion, send it out for question.
Thank you, Commissioner Barker. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Commissioner Gillum, any discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Sarah, we call the roll, please.
Robbie Palmer,
Yes.
Tom Kern.
Yes.
Joshua Gillum,
Yes.
Nancy Barker. Yes. John Gibson.
Yes.
Danny Elvis.
Yes.
Jason Roach.
Yes.
7 yes, motion carries.
2024-04-07, approval of a grant application and acceptance for funds in the amount of $70,000 from the U.S. Department of Transportation with a self-funded local match of $3,750 for the Hawkins County Airport.
Make a motion to move this forward to full commission.
Thank you, Mr. Gillum. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson. Will someone remind me, and I'm pretty sure, maybe I just missed it. Did this go before the airport committee?
The grant did not go before the airport committee when we received it, but it was put on our ACIP worksheet that the full committee agreed to. So we,
Budget worksheet.
Yeah.
it's sort of like that, yes, we meet, what is it, maybe Nancy, is it every 3 years or so, and make a list. We have to have all of our projects listed, and at that time, we put those in order by being funded.
So the project that it's going to go for has been before the airport committee, just the grant itself has.
Yes, this is for the study for that drainage problem that we have at the bottom of the airport, you know, where the water's going out over the roads. The state is saying it's the airport's fault, and of course, the people, the engineers that have been working on this are saying it's the state's fault. So we're gonna do a study to see how we can control that water that puddles up down there. Into those.
Any other questions? Seeing none, Sarah, will you call the roll, please?
John Gibson,
Yes.
Jason Hope,
Yes.
Danny Elvis,
No.
Joshua Gillum,
Yes.
Tom Kern,
Yes.
Robbie Palmer,
Yes.
Nancy Barker.
Yes.
6 yes, 1 no, motion carries.
2024-0408, approval to accept the Tennessee Economic and Community Development Grant in the amount of $300,000 to refurbish the exterior and first floor interior of the Clay Kenner House in Rogersville. The grant requires a matching amount of $128,571 to be equally shared by Hawkins County and the city of Rogersville at $64,285.72 each. The total project cost will be $428,571.43.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson. Is there a second? Second. Thank you, Mr. Kern. I'll now open the floor for discussion.
What's our intent with this after it's finished, with the Clay Kenner House?
I'm sorry, Josh, repeat that.
What are we going to do with the Clay Kenner House once we finish the renovations?
Well, the grant calls for having to put some sort of business in it. So there's been interest from a homesteading group to put a business in there to do cooking lessons and old craft lessons and things that bring back the historic value of the Kenner House, things like that. It will be set up with a commercial kitchen in the back, could potentially be a restaurant. If this group decides to share it with somebody or decides to not do it, we have several people who are in line for backup business in there.
So it will be a private business for sure, though it won't be a government office or anything?
Correct.
Okay.
So, have we entered into any sort of contract negotiation or anything like that with that homesteading group at this point?
They have put together a business plan that they presented to us, which we presented to the state, so that they could get the grant. It's gonna be kind of like the Renaissance Center, where they'll actually probably bring out some rooms for, things, different events and things like that, as well as have all the other things.
So how will the county get our return on investment?
Well, it's gonna bring people in, increase taxes, things like that. The negotiations with them, Nancy and I and Sarah have been involved with it. Pretty much the first little while, we're gonna let them do rent-free, just pay utilities. And then if it starts taking off, we'll start charging them a little bit of rent. But we want to get them firmly established if we can.
Would the ownership, so in the event that they were paying rent at some point, would that be split between the city and county also?
Yes. Yeah, everything having to do with the Kenner House is typically split down the middle, or we might agree with them that they pour some concrete and we do some finish work, things like that. So it's the state of Tennessee calling me, wanting me to accept this grant.
Would this be out of the general fund?
What out of?
The 64,000.
Yeah, as far as I know. Eric?
That's to be up for discussion. When you all officially approve it, if you do, we will come back later and have a budget amendment to see if we're going to pay for it from the general fund or whether we're going to do it from some other fund as well.
It was originally scheduled for both the county and the city to pay like $150,000 as a match. But because we're a different tier with the state, things
At
like
risk.
at risk, we get that reduced, and the city and us will be splitting it. I think it's a small investment for what we'll eventually get out of it. The Kenner House is critical to the historic value of Rogersville and the tourism value of Rogersville, and it doesn't need to sit there and rot. We've done some things to it, and it's time to continue doing things to the inside of it to get ready to operate. Nancy may have something else to say on that. She helped on this grant.
Well, you know, it's just gonna sit there and deteriorate more and more if we don't do something with it. And it's a valuable building for us to lose as far as historic significance. And I think this is a win-win because if we get somebody in there, even if they just decide to stay for short term, then we've already got a restaurant that has contacted us and said they might be interested in it. They're not right now, but would be in the future once it gets renovated, they can see. The other issue that we have, which is really not an issue because we could reapply in several years for this same grant again, is we're just trying to get the bottom level done. We're having a lot of issues with homeless people staying up there. I don't believe if you've never been inside it, you need to go in and just see it. But it has a new roof, we've already invested in a new roof, we've already invested in the foundation and a new chimney. So we've got that money already tied up in it, so, you know, if we can do this and for the amount of money, then I think it would be beneficial to all of us.
And it's, you know, the remodeling stuff inside is not gonna happen in a couple of weeks. It'll be a year or more before we're ready to put somebody in there.
And this grant is good for 3 years
Yeah.
with an extension if we have to. Normally they like them completed within 3 years. If you look at it that way, it's only $20,000.
All right, any other questions or discussion? Ms. Sarah, will you call the roll, please?
Danny Alves,
No.
Robbie Palmer,
Yes.
Tom Kern,
Yes.
Nancy Barker,
Yes.
John Gibson,
Yes.
Jason Roach,
Yes.
Joshua Gill.
Yes.
6 yes, 1 no, motion carries.
All right, 2024-0409, review and adoption of the restated debt management policy for Hawkins County, Tennessee.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Barker. Eric, do you want to touch on this a little bit?
Yeah, there's nothing changed, it's the same policy as it was last year, there's just a requirement that we review annually, so this is really just checking the box, it's same from the commission, everybody had a chance to look at it, but there's no changes to it whatsoever.
All right, any questions? Ms. Sarah, will you go ahead and call the roll, please?
Robbie Palmer,
Yes.
John Gibson,
Yes.
Danny Alves,
Yes.
Joshua Gillum,
Yes.
Tom Kern, Nancy Barker,
Yes.
and Jason Roach.
Yes.
7 yes, motion carries.
2024-0410, approval to renew the Tennessee Consolidated Retirement System employer rate of 7% for fiscal year 2024-2025.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson. Second by Mr. Kern. Floor is now open for discussion. This is what we've had it at. We've had it right.
Correct. Yeah, just keep it the same rate, 7%.
Any questions? Okay, Ms. Sarah, will you call the roll, please?
Robbie Palmer,
Yes.
Tom Kern, Danny Alves,
Yes.
John Gibson,
Yes.
Nancy Barker,
Yes.
Jason Roach,
Yes.
and Joshua Gillum.
Yes.
7 yes, motion carries.
2024-0412. General fund budget amendment.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Barker. Is there any discussion?
Looks like both are no new county money.
That's true. All right. Ms. Sarah, will you call the roll on that one?
John Gibson,
Yes.
Tom Kern,
Yes.
Robbie Palmer,
Yes.
Joshua Gillum,
Yes.
Danny Alves,
Yes.
Nancy Barker,
Yes.
and Jason Roach.
Yes.
7 yes.
2024-0413. Highway fund budget amendment.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Alice.
Second.
Second by Mr. Gibson. Thank you, sir. Any discussion or questions?
cleaning the budgets up, kind of the same we've done with some resolutions last month, just better reflections of actuals.
Yeah, as the year comes in, you actually spend money, and you make your best guess at it, but as you actually see how the year unfolds and where the money needs to be spent, just trying to self-fund those corrections and move money around so that we're spending from the appropriate lines.
Mr. Jones, I see that your maintenance or repair services, I mean, the budget amount is 17,000, but it looks like you're gonna end up spending 30,000, just aging equipment.
No, it's the new equipment. The newer equipment has to have computer assistance to do the maintenance on. So to put a clutch in or whatever, you still gotta be hooked to the computer to get it back to specs. And we had 3 pieces go down, so
Do you contract that, or do you have a computer system at the shop?
contracted.
And this was the new equipment?
The newer.
Was it under warranty?
The one truck, there was a clutch up in the air about being under warranty. It went for 3 months before they gave us a disposition. It wasn't. We had to bring in a service guy to work on the loader. He thought he knew what it was. We spent $2,500 on it. He had to come back and we had to spend another $7,000 on it to get it operating. And the whole loader's probably worth $10,000, but we had to, it's either sit there and rot or fix it. And it's just the newer stuff, even to get a signal out to work, if it malfunctions, you have to look into the computer to get it turned back on. And they have the computers locked up. If you want to contract one or buy a computer, a system, it costs you like $10,000 just for one model of the truck. So it's cheaper to contract it out and hope it don't tear up again.
You have a $600 increase for the foreman?
Yes, sir. That was my figure mistake. I was kind of dyslexic. It's supposed to be in 1851 and I figured it 1850. So
Okay. So you're making up the difference on what
That's
it's.
it.
right, exactly. That's my boo-boo.
What about this laundry service on here?
I've tried to cancel that for 2 years and go with a different company, but there was a 5-year contract signed. And the last law was that they could bypass us or they could sue us. Probably be better to just keep what we got. It's killing us.
When does it expire?
We're in the 2nd year of it. It was signed right before I came in.
So will they just get the increased rates as they want?
It's the same rates. I just got more people.
Oh, I got you, okay.
I'm trying. I'm gonna show the contract to the new lawyer and see what he says about it. If not, I'm gonna cut services in half. Where we launder them now, we've got 11 sets. We'll go back to 7 and let them do their own laundry. That should almost half.
Guess that's kind of a double-edged sword there. Spend more money on laundry, but we get, or not double-edged sword, but we get more workers.
Centos, out of Kingsport, it's nationwide.
How many new employees have you hired?
Right now, we have about 43, 44. When I came there, it was under 30, so 10 or 12 more.
All right, any other questions for Mr. Jones? Seeing none, Ms. Sarah, will you call the roll, please?
John Gibson.
Yes.
Tom Kern.
Yes.
Robbie Palmer.
Yes.
Amy Alves.
Yes.
Jason Roach.
Yes.
Russell Gillum.
Yes.
Nancy Barton.
Yes.
7 yes, motion carries.
All right, that concludes the resolutions. What other business needs to come before the budget committee?
Mr. Chairman, there's going to be an out-of-order resolution having to do with surplusing 3 Hawkins County Convenience Center buildings. One structure at Carter's Valley, one at Durham Road, one at Clinch. They're being replaced by buildings that were bought with a grant. But we're going to surplus these so we can list them for sale. So I don't know that you need to take any action on it, but it's coming.
For for good for committee, we might as well.
Okay.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Gill. Any further discussion or questions about the out-of-order resolution 2024 approval?
Mr. Chairman, so just giving you an update on why this is being done. We had an issue with the convenience center about a building that was given away that someone else wanted. So at solid waste, we decided to just do a uniform for that bid. I think, what, 30 days, Mark? I believe 30 days, and then Sills did the mayor's office, and part of it, they need to pick it up at our time where that building was started up. So, give an option for everybody to, ability to come in with it.
Sounds good. All right, Ms. Sarah, we call the roll on this one, please?
Tom Kerr.
Yes.
John Gibson.
Yes.
Danny Ellis.
Yes.
Bobby Palmer.
Yes.
Joshua Gillum.
Yes.
Nancy Barker.
Yes.
Jason Roach.
Yes.
7 yes.
All right, any other business coming for us this afternoon? In the way of announcements, don't forget, we got budget hearings coming up on the 17th and 18th. Do you have all of the questions we sent out by chance? Are you going to include those in that workbook, or we just need to be prepared for it?
I can print you off a copy, this is what we do.
Yeah, if you don't care, we can do that.
Yeah. I think I got another new one in today, actually.
Is that 9 or 9:30?
Now, what did we set there?
I think 30.
Eight thirty.
Get up bright and early.
Who's buying breakfast?
Thank you, Danny.
Mr. Out has been.
Pretty early.
Was there any other amendments that were supposed to be brought to the community today, by chance?
We had educational amendment, we had general purpose school fund. So, yeah, we had grant reimbursements, it's nothing big, but just wanted to make sure they were reported. Nothing they can't wait till May, I mean, it's,
I'll have to go look.
okay, all right. I've got a copy of them if you want. Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Business. All right, seeing none.
Make the motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. Gillum. Is there a second? I believe Mr. Palmer got that one. All in favor of adjourn, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. And motion carries. We'll see you back on the 17th.
Since you're here,